Welcome to AI Deen Vision. In today's video we are diving deep into the legendary life of Sultan Salahuddin Ayyubi, one of the most revered leaders in Islamic history. Known for his military brilliance and unwavering commitment to justice, faith and unity, Salahuddin's legacy continues to inspire Muslims around the world. From his strategic intelligence network to his remarkable victory at Jerusalem, we'll explore the intricate details of his campaigns, the enemies he faced, and the lessons that can guide us today. Stay tuned for a journey through history that teaches us the true essence of leadership, resilience, and righteousness. The First Crusade was launched by Pope Urban II in 1095 in response to the Byzantine Emperor Alexios I Komnenos' request for military aid against the Seljuk Turks. However, its scope quickly expanded into a larger religious mission aimed at reclaiming Jerusalem and other holy sites in the Levant for Christianity. By the late 11th century, the Muslim world was politically fragmented. The Seljuk Turks controlled vast territories, but were often engaged in internal disputes. This disunity, combined with the loss of Anatolian territories by the Byzantine Empire, provided the opportunity for the Crusaders to launch their campaign. The call to arms was met with fervor across Europe, as knights and commoners alike were promised spiritual rewards, including the remission of sins. What began as a religious endeavor soon became a brutal and bloody conquest. The People's Crusade. Before the main Crusader armies arrived, unorganized bands of peasants led by Peter the Hermit attempted to reach the Holy Land. They were largely annihilated by the Seljuks in Asia Minor. Siege of Antioch from 1097 to 1098. The Crusaders captured Antioch after a grueling siege, marking their first significant victory. Siege of Jerusalem in 1099. In July 1099, the Crusaders breached Jerusalem's walls and committed a massacre, slaughtering Muslims and Jews indiscriminately. The First Crusade established the Kingdom of Jerusalem and other Crusader states, including the Principality of Antioch, the County of Edessa, and the County of Tripoli. These territories would remain constant flashpoints in the coming centuries. The Second Crusade was launched in response to the fall of the County of Edessa to the Zengid ruler Imad ad-Din Zengi in 1144. This marked the first major loss for the Crusader states, shattering the illusion of invincibility that had followed the First Crusade. The Second Crusade was led by European monarchs, including King Louis VII of France and Emperor Conrad III of Germany. However, a lack of coordination and strategic vision doomed the campaign from the start. Campaign in Anatolia. The German forces suffered heavy losses due to poor planning and ambushes by the Seljuks, forcing them to retreat. Siege of Damascus in 1148. The Crusaders targeted Damascus, a Muslim ally of the Crusader states, instead of attacking Aleppo or Edessa. The siege was a disaster, ending in humiliation for the Crusaders. The Second Crusade was a failure, further emboldening Muslim leaders like Nur ad-Din, who consolidated power in Syria. This set the stage for the rise of Salahuddin Ayyubi, who would later become Nur ad-Din's protege. Sultan Salahuddin Ayyubi, widely known as Saladin in the West, is an unparalleled figure in medieval history. Born in 1137 in Tikrit, a modest city nestled along the Tigris River in modern-day Iraq, Salahuddin rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most iconic leaders of the Islamic world. Revered not just by Muslims but respected by his adversaries in Christendom, his name has become synonymous with chivalry, justice, and leadership. Salahuddin's remarkable life was dedicated to the ideals of unity, morality, and a steadfast commitment to defending the Muslim world against the onslaught of the Crusaders. The historical context of Salahuddin's era was marked by great upheaval. The Crusades, a series of religious wars waged by European Christians, posed a formidable threat to Islamic territories. The fall of Jerusalem to the Crusaders in 1099 had left an indelible mark on the collective psyche of the Muslim Ummah. The region was fractured, its rulers embroiled in internal conflicts, making it vulnerable to external aggression. It was in this turbulent environment that Salahuddin emerged as a unifying force, rallying the fragmented Muslim territories under the banner of Islam. Salahuddin's name is most often associated with the liberation of Jerusalem in 1187, an event that stands as a milestone in Islamic history. His victory at the Battle of Hattin, which paved the way for the reconquest of the Holy City, is celebrated not only as a military triumph, but also as a testament to his tactical brilliance and unwavering resolve. Beyond the battlefield, however, Salahuddin was renowned for his magnanimity. Even his enemies marveled at his sense of justice and mercy. Accounts from both Islamic and Christian chroniclers highlight his chivalrous conduct, particularly his humane treatment of prisoners of war and his efforts to minimize the suffering of civilians. Salahuddin was more than just a military commander, he was a statesman and visionary. As the founder of the Ayyubid dynasty, he laid the foundations for a unified Islamic state, fostering stability and prosperity in the regions under his rule. His governance was characterized by reforms that promoted education, science, and the welfare of his people. Under his leadership, the Muslim world regained not just its territories but also its dignity and self-respect. Salahuddin's legacy transcends time and geography. For Muslims, he remains a symbol of resistance and unity. For historians, he is an embodiment of ethical leadership. And for the world at large, he serves as a reminder that even in the darkest times it is possible to uphold the values of justice, compassion, and humanity. Salahuddin Yusuf ibn Ayyub, known to history as Salahuddin Ayyubi, was born into a Kurdish family of noble lineage. His father, Najm ad-Din Ayyub, and uncle Shirkuh were military leaders under the Zengid ruler Imad ad-Din Zengi. From an early age, Salahuddin was exposed to the ideals of discipline, loyalty, and a deep sense of religious devotion that would later define his character. Tikrit, his birthplace, held little significance in the grander scheme of history, yet it served as the first chapter in Salahuddin's extraordinary life. His family relocated to Mosul when Salahuddin was a young boy, where his father entered the service of Zengi. It was here that Salahuddin received his foundational education, studying the Quran, Islamic jurisprudence, and Arabic literature under prominent scholars. His upbringing instilled in him a strong moral compass and a commitment to the principles of justice and humility. As a young man, Salahuddin joined the military campaigns of his uncle Shirkuh, who served under Nur ad-Din, the son and successor of Imad ad-Din Zengi. These early experiences on the battlefield honed Salahuddin's strategic acumen and gave him invaluable insight into the complexities of warfare. His participation in the campaign to reclaim Egypt from the Fatimid Caliphate marked a turning point in his life. When Shirkuh passed away in 1169, Salahuddin was appointed as the Vizier of Egypt, a position that would serve as a stepping stone to his eventual rise as Sultan. Despite his growing power, Salahuddin remained a man of humility and faith. His loyalty to Nur ad-Din was unwavering, and he worked tirelessly to stabilize Egypt while upholding the Sunni Islamic principles that had guided his predecessors. Following the death of Nur ad-Din in 1174, Salahuddin began to consolidate his power, uniting the fragmented Muslim territories under his rule. His ascension as the leader of the Muslim world was not the result of ambition but rather a necessity born of the circumstances. The Muslim Ummah needed a leader who could restore its strength and dignity, and Salahuddin rose to the occasion. Salahuddin's rise to power in Egypt marked the beginning of one of the most significant periods in Islamic history. After the death of his uncle Shirkuh in 1169, Salahuddin assumed the position of vizier under the Fatimid Caliphate. Despite the sectarian divide between the Sunni Abbasids and the Shia Fatimids, Salahuddin carefully navigated this complex political landscape, earning respect from both factions. One of his first major achievements as vizier was the restoration of Sunni Islam in Egypt. Under his administration, the Fatimid Caliphate was peacefully dissolved in 1171, and Egypt was aligned with the Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad. Salahuddin's approach was marked by pragmatism and restraint. Unlike many leaders of his time, he avoided unnecessary bloodshed, earning the admiration of the Egyptian populace. As the founder of the Ayyubid dynasty, Salahuddin implemented sweeping reforms in governance, agriculture, and commerce. He revitalized Egypt's economy by promoting trade and reforming tax policies to reduce the burden on the common people. Salahuddin also prioritized the development of infrastructure, including the construction of schools, mosques and hospitals. His administration encouraged scholarly pursuits, turning Cairo into a center of learning and culture. In addition to his domestic reforms, Salahuddin used Egypt as a strategic base for unifying the Muslim world. Recognizing the fractured state of the Islamic territories, he focused on consolidating power and forging alliances. By 1174, Salahuddin had extended his influence over Syria, Yemen, and parts of North Africa, creating a formidable coalition against the Crusaders. Salahuddin was tasked by his mentor, Nur ad-Din Zengi, to intervene in Egypt, a region under the control of the Shia Fatimid Caliphate. Egypt was both strategically and economically vital to the Muslim world. At the time, the Fatimids were losing power due to internal corruption and external threats from the Crusaders. Nur ad-Din sent an expedition led by Salahuddin's uncle Shirkuh to reclaim Egypt. Salahuddin accompanied Shirkuh, initially as a subordinate commander. Battle of Al-Babain, 1167. Salahuddin and Shirkuh faced the combined forces of the Fatimid Vizier Shawar and the Crusaders, led by Amalric I of Jerusalem. The battle was a fierce encounter in which Salahuddin demonstrated his growing military skill. Consolidation of power, 1169. Following Shirkuh's death, Salahuddin was appointed Vizier of Egypt. Though initially serving as a Sunni leader under the Fatimid Caliph, Salahuddin worked to dismantle the Fatimid Caliphate. In 1171, he formally abolished the Fatimid rule, restoring Sunni orthodoxy. Salahuddin's conquest of Egypt was pivotal. It not only ended Fatimid control, but also provided the resources and strategic position needed for his later campaigns against the Crusaders. Egypt became the foundation of the Ayyubid dynasty. In 1177, Salahuddin launched a major campaign to strike at the Crusader states. His objective was to invade the Kingdom of Jerusalem and solidify his dominance. However, this campaign ended in an unexpected defeat. Near the town of Montgisard, Salahuddin's army, fatigued from a long march, was ambushed by King Baldwin IV of Jerusalem and a small Crusader force. Baldwin, despite suffering from leprosy, led his troops with great determination. The element of surprise allowed the Crusaders to overwhelm Salahuddin's forces, resulting in a rare defeat for the Sultan. Though the defeat at Montgisard was a setback, it taught Salahuddin the importance of preparation and avoiding overconfidence in his campaigns. He quickly rebuilt his forces and turned his focus on unifying Muslim territories further. Thank you for joining us on this remarkable journey through the early life and legacy of Sultan Salahuddin Ayyubi. From the challenges of the Crusades to his rise as a unifying leader, we've explored how his wisdom, humility, and military brilliance shaped history. As we conclude part 1 of this documentary, we've seen how Salahuddin's early victories and setbacks, including the pivotal Battle of Montgisard, laid the groundwork for his ultimate triumphs. But this is just the beginning of the story. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll dive into Salahuddin's legendary campaigns, beginning with the monumental Battle of Hattin, the liberation of Jerusalem, and his enduring legacy as a symbol of justice, courage, and unity. At AI Dean Vision, we are dedicated to bringing you inspirational stories from history that resonate with the challenges of today. Let's continue to learn from the past to inspire our future. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to AI Dean Vision for more thought-provoking content. Until next time, stay inspired, stay united, and stay strong. Inshallah, see you next time. Allah Hafiz.